Hello, everyone out there in the wrestling world. This is the day after WrestleMania 33. And of course, Andrew and we are here for a quick little guerrilla style show right before Raw. This is kind of like this show was decided while we were watching WrestleMania. Actually, the moment I decided, like, you know what, we need to say something or do something on a show officially before Wednesday, because some of my, it was so much to unpack. We might lose some things, so I wanted to get it fresh. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say hello to everybody. We got a limited amount of time, so we can't talk about everything. I'm trying to get to the main stuff. So, hi everybody.
Hey, folks.
Yeah, and overall, I really liked this show.
Right?
It had some good vibrations for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just gonna say that my night was kind of ruined, like right after the Hardys, which is when I decided, like, fuck, we need to do this. It was kind of raining, like all during the show, and then it started storming, and then my cable and internet went out, like right after the Hardys. Like they were about to bring up the video package for the mixed tag match, and everything went stop suddenly. And I was like, what? Not today. Come on up. This is a joke. So, yeah. I was like, okay, well, it's going to come back on, and I have the network. So I went to sleep. So, like, when everybody else was, like, pissed off or happy or whatever, I was just waking back up to see what the fuck happened.
What had going on, yeah.
Yeah. So, let's get into the ending of WrestleMania. And I actually got a bone to pick with you, Andrew, about this now.
Uh-oh.
Like, I know you don't like the Undertaker, but this was his last match. And you put together like 6 measly sentences about the Undertaker.
Look. There was 1 hour between the end of the show and publication. All right, I wrote like 1,400 words in 1 hour, so. It was kind of funny too, because like after it was published, I was like, man, I really should have probably said something more about that. And I was just like, nah, whatever.
Right?
I'm a monster. I know. I think I'm coming to the conclusion that might be one of the reasons why I actually didn't hate the show like some people did. I was just like, because the main event did not affect me in like any way. I was not sad whatsoever. I was just like, let's just get this over with. This is painful to watch, you know?
Oh my God, listen, I felt the exact opposite way. Like, I feel like if more people who were down on what happened in the main event, if they saw it through my eyes, they would be just as happy as I am. Okay, I mean, since you don't care about Undertaker, let me take this.
I'm a monster. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can take the marriage proposal and the Hardys. That was like more your wheelhouse. Okay, so listen, WWE has a part-timer problem, and the main event was one step closer to WWE and the fans collectively realizing, oh shit, these people are human beings. They have to stop doing this at a certain point. And if, let's just say, Undertaker had just a little bit left, right? And he was actually able to like wrestle, because he obviously wasn't, from what I watched last night. He was not there. Like at a certain point, Roman Reigns was literally, when you have him literally pick the Undertaker up, like he's picking up his child to guide him to the next spot. Like, okay, yes, people. And it's like some people, I'm sure people respecting the reason why the crowd, like I'm sure they were ready to murder Roman, and then they saw the Undertaker, and they were like, oh shit, this is really his last match, and he looks awful. So I think they just decided it was a lot of polite claps and shit at the end. And then, like, the biggest part of the match was the Undertaker hope spot when he kicked out of, like, I think it was the third spear. And that got the crowd excited because, of course, it's Reigns. And, of course, they're going to get excited if somebody keeps kicking out of his spears. But, like, at the same time, that wasn't this. It didn't seem like people were any more upset about Roman winning that match than any other match. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a special kind of hate, which is what I heard was going to happen. But that didn't happen. It was, and like people who are focused on that, if you claim yourself to be an Undertaker fan, you're full of shit because you really don't know this man. You don't know what he stands for. You don't know what he's about because that shit was right up Undertaker's wheelhouse. That was storytelling all throughout their matches. Like, as soon as the bell rung, Undertaker, like, that's the only thing he had left to give. And he gave it back in spades with his with his looks, the way he talked to Roman, like the story that they told relating to each other. Like, outside of the Undertaker's physical condition, I think everything else about the main event was perfect. Like, had Undertaker been able to perform, people would have been more pissed that Roman beat him because the Undertaker was actually able to go. And so they, instead of people saying thank you, Taker, and you know all that when he was doing his little ending ceremony, they would have been like one more match. But nobody's asking for one more match from that Undertaker because that was a mercy killing last night. Thank you, Roman Reigns. I know I thank the Undertaker already, but thank you, Roman Reigns, because I've been trying to send the Undertaker's old ass home for the past 2 years, and you did it. So I thought it was perfect. Of course, everybody's not in a work rate and all this. But if you claim to be an Undertaker fan, if you claim you watch the WWE for fucking stories, you're a liar. Because you got the Undertaker, like, let's not forget, he faced Shane last year. So let's wipe that out. Like, the last 3 or 4 times Undertaker had a WrestleMania match, he was having his ass carted out of the building. He was able to go home on his own accord last night after saying goodbye to the fans. That's what that match was about, not anything else. And if you didn't see that and you didn't recognize that and you did not appreciate what the fucking Undertaker was trying to give you as his last hurrah, you're not an Undertaker fan and you're a fucking complainer. And go have a seat in the corner because we're done with that. Vince don't listen to you anyway. He's actually trying to listen to us fans who actually want to be entertained. All right. So I guess we can move on from that because you don't really care, huh?
I mean, it was as soon as the tombstone spot happened, I was just like, oh man, like
how sad is that?
And I knew people were gonna start.
How are people like? How do you?
I knew.
How do you claim to be a? This is another thing. How long have you been watching wrestling? That
yeah.
Roman Reigns could have saved that. He's just not strong enough. Man, suck my dick. let me see you. Let me see you carry the Undertaker through a fucking match, and it not be a complete and utter abortion. And there's actually something there. As long as they got some highlights to put in Undertaker and Roman Reigns reels, which they do,
yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. They got a couple of highlights, spears to the table, the whole little exchange at the end. It's cool. But Undertaker legit on that last spear, it was so sad because Roman was just going to run into the ropes and spear him. But Undertaker wasn't ready for it, and you could tell because Roman halfway broke character. He ran into him. And it looked like Undertaker was going to topple over. Roman grabbed his hands to stop him from falling. Then ran into the ropes again and speared him the last time. And like, if anybody thinks that picture of him is a shoot backstage where he's all mopey and dopey and all that, yeah, like, why would he be? Because the match wasn't what he thought it would be. Fuck that. He just sent. If he had any bad feelings, it was just like, fuck, I had to be the one to kill Old Yeller. That was what that was about. Yeah, that wasn't about no damn match quality. That's not what that was about. Like, Undertaker's fucking dead for real.
I said he might as well have been wrestling an actual dead man. I'm surprised more people didn't like bitch at me for that sort of thing. Actually,
Because
Like,
I'm telling you, they knew. It's
yeah.
not that much anger to be had after the performance the Undertaker did.
Like everyone saw it, you know? Like it's
With
not like
that
I'm making things up, you know?
right, live and in the flesh. Had that been anybody, that main event would have been better if Jinder Mahal had been in it.
Oh my god. Can we
If,
not talk about Jinder Mahal?
no, we can move on to Team Extreme, Matt and Jeff
Oh
Hardy.
man.
Uh,
Boy, I tell you. This
that
was a
triple
this
threat.
was a WrestleMania moment.
Right. It was a triple threat match for the Raw Tag Team Championships. And then the New Day came out and they were like, but wait, there's another team. And then I think I heard some people chanting delete and some people chanting
Yeah.
who.
Yeah.
And so when they were like, when they came out there and they looked like they were in their gear, I was like, you know, I'm a smart fan, so they're not finna fucking wrestle.
Right.
So I was like, right before the Hardys came out, I was like, oh my fucking Lord, the Hardys are going to come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the music actually hit. I was like, no fucking way. First of all, my first thought was LOL TNA, right?
Right? Seriously.
Like you have like all these people who you cannot get to buy a ticket or watch your show saying delete, delete, delete in WWE, but that came from your show. So
Yeah.
you can own all the intellectual property you want, motherfuckers. How the fuck you gonna profit off of it when the two motherfuckers like to think that Matt and Jeff Hardy need the broken gimmick? They don't need that. Fans are still gonna be chanting delete at them. If the broken gimmick had never happened, Vince probably might have still brought Matt and Jeff back because they still were big sellers on the indies. They're still a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
They're still the fucking Hardys. There was nobody that didn't pop because, oh, they're not the broken. And it's the Hardys, but they're not broken. And they were fucking broken, but, you know, they just can't be broken because we all know why. But, yeah.
Yeah, that might have been the loudest pop of all time. I mean, to get that loud in open air is insane. Is utterly insane. Like I can't even imagine what that would have been like indoors, you know. Obviously not as many people, but the fact that it's indoors amplifies noise quite a bit. Yeah, I tell you, boy, and like Kofi was the last person to talk. He was like, I wonder who that team could be. And then he like kind of stepped forward like 2-3 steps. And it was like they're all kind of stepping forward. And it was like they're trying to – it seemed like they were trying to play like it was them. And then the drum hits and people lost their shit or whatever. Yeah, that was a blast. I don't even like really remember anything that happened in the match except the end because I was just like marking out the whole time, you know. I was like, oh my god, because it was like, excuse me, it was one of those moments where it was like, man, this would be really cool if this happened. I want to see this happen, you know, and like it makes sense. Like it could happen, but I don't know. And then it did, and it was just like, I'm really glad that happened. You know, it was just like, I feel like that moment like made the night for me. Like after that moment and after that match, I was just like, you know what? I don't think I can be down on this show. Like I could try to be down on it, and like there are some things that were annoyed me and some things that actually legitimately like pissed me off. But after that moment and that match and that whole scene, like that was just a special moment, you know. That was a WrestleMania moment, trademarked WrestleMania moment, you know. So I don't know. I don't have like any other words to say about it other than it was awesome and it was great and it was something that you hope to get in your wrestling every once in a while, you know. And we got it. And that's what, like, it felt so much different than last year because, like, last year they would have, like, teased it and then it would have been, like, the Shining Stars or some shit. Okay?
Right.
You know? But this year it was like they were just on point, mostly with most of the results and I don't know, and just the flow of the show. It worked pretty well. So props to WWE for pulling that off. Props to I actually had something in my now that just popped back in my head. I was kicking around a thesis in my brain earlier today about how like WWE's new philosophy is like bet on yourself, which is what Tommaso Ciampa or whatever said when he's like, I bet on myself, when he left Ring of Honor and look what has happened. But it's like WWE is really taking the approach of people who go elsewhere or, take risks or, do something to get themselves noticed. And they're like responding to that more than WWE is just like taking their cookie cutter, whatever they have in mind. They're responding to people who are doing good work. And you can see that in like the women's division too. Like that whole thing has been like a generation of women betting on themselves to like actually change women's wrestling, and they did it. And all these indie wrestlers coming in, Ciampa, Gargano, the Hardys now, Drew McIntyre, which was his smile and mug at TakeOver was a hoot. Like they showed him, and everybody was like all caps, Drew, freaking out, But yeah, so I don't know. It seems like WWE is kind of, and then excuse me, and that's one area where we can actually give all hails, because that is Triple H's department, is talent relations, and he's picking up people who are making themselves get noticed. So props for that they're taking what the larger wrestling world is offering, and sure, it's WWE, so they're gonna vacuum up whatever they can, huge corporation or whatever, but they're offering a whole lot of different stuff now, and that's different than the company that I've known basically my entire life.
Yeah, it's really good to see, and like it gives you some excitement, but it's not gonna be always the monotonous shit, and they're gonna let some cool shit slip in there. So that was good to see. Okay, let's talk about it happened. He did it! Yay! Like I'm a total Bellas, total Divas.
Oh yeah.
Viewer. So the fact that John Cena actually proposed to Nikki. Now, okay. Here's my theory on John Cena on these reality shows. Okay. I don't think he necessarily really ever wanted to do them. He really ever needed to do them. And I always felt like him doing that reality show was always more for Nikki Bella and for her benefit. So like this whole thing, the way he kind of acts sometimes, I think he's like monitoring, like holding himself back because there are cameras there, which is understandable because everybody's not, no matter how public a figure you are, you might not want your personal life splattered all over for everybody to speculate about. But like the whole speech he talked about her going to surgery and what he said to her when she was under, and I was like, this is like the cutest John and Nikki thing ever. Like it was, and he proposed, and she said yes. And like I can understand, like if you're not into that, you don't care about them. I can understand how that's not your thing. But like I also don't see how you shit on that. Like it's people who love each other. Who cares if you understand it or not? Like it's certainly people that I've known, like I don't see what they see in each other, but like I'm not gonna hate on them. That's their love. I thought it was a nice, it was lovely. It was nice. It was cute. And whenever they both decide to come back, we're gonna get a wedding. They have to give us a wedding now. They invited us in.
Right.
I need a wedding. I need it. Like it could be a kayfabe wedding. That's fine. Trips and Stephanie did the whole dual, like, you know, married in real life and on TV, they're acting crazy and doing all types of weird stuff. It might help the relationship. Who knows? I swear, if like if I was a wrestler and I worked in the WWE and I had a relationship with another wrestler, I'd be like trying to pick their brains. Like Triple H, I know like he has way more incentive to stay with Stephanie than Stephanie does to stay with him. But I would still just like, how are they able to do that? And like, there's no problems and that anybody can see, and you never like nobody's ever known. Like I've never heard any rumor that like, you know, Triple H is cheating on Stephanie. You know, Stephanie wants to leave Triple H, and you know, wrestlers gossip just as much as anybody. So if it was something out there like that, Chatty Cathy's, where do you think we're getting all these scoops from? Fucking wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was a good moment. I liked it.
Yeah, that was another WrestleMania moment. Like those two moments, like with those two moments on the show, I just like couldn't even when stuff was annoying me, like I just couldn't get down. I don't know. It was weird. I was like mad during the Andre of all things. I was like legitimately annoyed how like Harper and Sammy went out. I was like, this is bullshit. I mean, I wasn't like furious or anything, but I was like kind of irked.
Me too.
But then like once the I feel like the whole night turned for me when the security guard didn't realize that the Gronk thing was part of the show. Because like that security guard thinking like it was a shoot and she needed to stop.
Yeah, who did not wise her up? Come on.
I died when that happened. And like in the background, like when he's getting into the ring, you can see like Charles Robinson over there like talking to her and they're like laughing about it. And I'm just like, that is amazing. That is my favorite thing. So yeah, maybe that moment was the whole thing that turned me around on the show. I don't know. Yeah, the marriage proposal was great. The match was bizarre. What was going on? Why did those fans like The Miz so much? I didn't get that. Like
we all like The Miz.
I mean, yeah, but they were going bananas. I was very confused. I was like, are they like trolling him or are they being sincere?
I think they were sincere.
I thought they were being sincere, yeah. It was very strange. So that was odd. And then the match was never the thing, you know.
No.
That was never, like, I didn't care. I didn't care that bizarrely the best matches of the night were Brock and Goldberg and AJ Shane and the Cruiserweights. That was a good match too. But yeah, I don't know. It was a WrestleMania moment. They were providing WrestleMania moments, and like last year, I didn't feel like there was a single WrestleMania moment last year that like
no that was like special or anything. No, because the women's match was good, but it was dampened because Ric Flair helped Charlotte.
Ric Flair helped Charlotte win, and then it was just depressing. It was like, well, this is bullshit, you know.
That was bullshit.
Yeah. So I don't know. The mixed tag. The feud was awesome. The moment was awesome. I really couldn't care less that the match was like, oh god, the match wasn't 4 stars, so I gotta mark it down for that.
Mark it, like says, gotta mark it down.
Mark it down. Yeah.
6 botches can have a 5-star match with 6 botches. Yes. I just love when he does that. His mark voice. That's my favorite part when Gino starts going in on the mark.
Yeah.
No,
they did today. They went in today.
Yeah. So gotta mark it down. It's my favorite part. But yeah. We can talk about this quickly and get it over with. I don't like Shane McMahon. I'm never gonna like him. Like I don't like. It's gonna take a whole lot. But let me just say this: Shane McMahon was a goddamn professional at WrestleMania. and he performed excellent. Like, unlike people who hate Roman Reigns who can't do what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
You know, that's the difference. Shane, it was a great match. I'm gonna tell you, when the show started, like I had already popped the bottle and I started drinking, and then and then I heard, "Here comes the money." I was like, "Oh, let me take some more gulps," because I was like, I still was pissed off because it's Shane doing this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. AJ Styles shouldn't have been taken to the limit or felt like he had to cheat or needed a ref bump. Like the referee bump, like I can understand why they did not, especially with the last match having it absolutely had to be no holds barred for it to work on any sort of level. I understand where these other matches didn't get it. Because it was all like, because the Undertaker was retiring.
Mm-hmm.
So I get that, but like the ref bump just felt so contrived. And Kyoto is laying there literally watching them cheat on the mat. He's literally waiting for them to stop cheating to count the pinfall. Like that shit took me out of the match. But AJ was great, of course. But Shane, he did his damn thing, and he delivered. And you know, this is probably the last nice things I'm going to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, credit to him. They brought the house down with that match. That was great. Like, AJ is a wrestling god, as I called him in my review. And Shane did his part. Like, his transitions, I mean, clearly AJ's helping him with that shit, but like his transitions when he's doing the grapple fuck stuff, they were all right. Like, you know, it was like Shane kind of put in a better wrestling performance than like 75% of the people on the card. Like, which is not saying a whole lot for the rest of the card, but I don't know.
No, I just think that's putting Shane over because I don't think anybody was like, except for Undertaker, but he can't help it. Anybody was bad, you know.
Well, I'll tell you, the Orton Wyatt match was.
Yeah, we're gonna get to the championship matches. Like we're just covering like the really big things, but yeah.
Yeah, that was atrocious.
Yeah,
I love the great opener. It was a great opener. And I really like the cruiserweight match too. We don't need to go into it, but I love the bit of Neville using the eye gouge when Aries' whole thing. Mm-hmm. When Aries' whole thing had been, you know, thumb to the eye and had the eye injury. So that was a wonderful piece of storytelling.
Yeah, that was a good bit of business. Yeah, so let's get to the championship matches. Yeah. Let's get to those championship matches, shall we? I knew it was a mistake to take Luke Harper out of this.
Yeah.
Like I knew it. And like that's why I really wasn't paying it. It was so much other stuff WrestleMania had for me. That was like, okay, this just isn't gonna be for me. I really like I've not really talked about this match for the simple fact that like I don't know a single fucking move that happened in that match. Cause all I remember is the fucking magic show they had with the fucking images. Like, who the fuck thought? I see Bray Wyatt had tweeted last week, like, try to follow his match. So if he knew that was going down and that's why he tweeted that, I have to question, like, Triple H in the interview said Bray Wyatt gets it. Like, so if he thought that, like, that was going to be, like, the thing that tips everything over, oh, you can't follow that. Like, I question how much he does get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because there's no fucking way. Like, if I'm a wrestler and they tell me this, okay, I'm doing this, and this sounds goofy as shit, but if this helps me win the match somehow, yeah, we can do this. But I'm doing this, and this is goofy as shit, and I'm still going to lose. Why the fuck am I doing it?
Yeah.
That was my whole point.
Still doing the job in super anticlimactic fashion.
I would have been cool with it if like Randy Orton's setting up for the RKO, right? And then they do it just one time and freak Randy Orton out.
Yeah.
And he's like, what the fuck? And then a sister Abigail out of nowhere and it wins the match. I think that's a better way to execute it than just, it kind of was like making a fucking joke out of the championship match a little bit.
It really was. It was like, the more I think about it, I just get more upset about that match. Like, it really, like literally every second I think about it, I'm just like, this fucking match. It was bad. The feud had like, I wrote the preview for it for this match, and like it was like late Saturday night, very early Sunday morning. And I was like going over it, and I got to like, and I was in like all the fall and like winter shit. I was like, yeah, this is great stuff, writing it up, blah, blah, blah. And then I got to like the last like 3-4 weeks, and I was just like, this fell off real hard, real fast, when they like took it from like emotional like resonance, like relationships within the trio there, and they started doing this like wacky shit. And as soon as they started doing the wacky shit, like the feud just collapsed in on itself. And that was basically what happened in the match, because they were like, oh, look at these crazy ass creepy crawlers or whatever, and then that was it. And then the match was bad and not good and lazy, and it was just very frustrating. And I made the point today. I'm gonna reference my theory about how SmackDown gets worse in the lead up to dual brand pay-per-views. I think it is especially true with Bray Wyatt's character. I think different people in creative have different ideas of what the character is or should be. And for the longest time, like, you know, it's one thing, and then all of a sudden it becomes really hokey and over the top and stuff that in 2017 does not work whatsoever. And I think that is an indication that a different part of creative is all of a sudden starting to pay more attention to Bray. Because like, there's weird stuff, like he always calls himself a god or whatever, but it comes across like he's delusional, like a delusional human or whatever. And you can do like some psychological angle there about how he's like damaged because of what happened with Abigail, or, you know, or what he's imagining what happened with Abigail, or, you know, something, whatever. But then it becomes like wacky supernatural shit. And I don't think those two aspects of Bray like connect whatsoever. It feels like they're literally two separate characters that are both called Bray Wyatt, and they have like kind of some similarities, but like in the grander picture, like envisioning the characters, they're two separate ideas. To me, at least, is how it comes across. And especially in this feud, like for a long time, it was, you know, personal relationships, and then it gets goofy, wacky, hokey. So that really frustrated. The match, when it ended, I was just like, that was bad. And then it was literally like every minute that went on, I was just like, I can't believe that I went so heavy into this feud. I was like so into this feud and so like excited for it. And then it just wet fart all over WrestleMania. And it was just the worst match of the night by far. And it was very disappointing. Like it felt like I was a parent talking to a teenager, and I'm like, I'm not mad at you. I'm just very disappointed. Like that's how I felt about the match and the feud after it. You know, I was just like, come on, guys. And now, like bland Randy Orton face champion. I'm not looking forward to that whatsoever.
Well, hopefully AJ just puts his radar gun on him and
just beats him.
Something, yeah,
just put the title back on AJ. Shit.
Please, now that this WrestleMania bullshit is over, can AJ get his title back?
Seriously.
Okay, let's move on to my personal match of the night. And I didn't give a two shits about this, and like I really wasn't emotionally invested. But looking back on it, actually watching the match, fun as all fuck. Goldberg versus Brock, and it's fun. It was fun because first of all, Brock had his working trunks on.
Mm-hmm.
He was ready to work. Maybe because he didn't have to work that long, but who knows? He starts off with the 3 suplexes, and then he comes up and he's like, yeah! And as soon as he turned around, boom, spear. And I was like, oh shit, we're off to the races, goddamn it.
Right? Yeah.
And they just start throwing bombs and going at it and going through the barricade. And then I'm sitting here and I'm watching Goldberg actually go to Suplex City. It was awesome. Like, I think because you haven't seen Brock doesn't get enough credit for reading the tea leaves with his character and being like, people just say, oh, he just cares about the money. That's bullshit. He cannot maximize his dollars if his character is portrayed in a certain way. And he makes sure it's not portrayed that way. And the fact that people were upset, oh, Goldberg beat him and he's a part-timer and it should be a young guy. Not realizing that Brock's kind of getting a little character development. We haven't seen Suplex City in a while. And like they don't let him talk. So he only really gets to develop his character because Heyman is gonna say the same fucking promo over and over. He only gets to develop his character in situations like this. It is like he was like a fucking kid. Like he was reborn. He was rejuvenated. He was like, I don't know where I've been, but I'm back, baby. Yeah. He was like so fucking happy to open up Suplex City on Goldberg. It was fun. And like, yes, God, if we can keep this we can have this Goldberg come in like a little bit more often and is a little bit more willing to work with guys, I wouldn't have a problem with him being champion. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And like they did the thing where it's like the 3 Germans right off the bat and you're like, oh, I know how this is going. And then all of a sudden the next thing you see is 2 spears and you're like, wait, do I know how this is going? You know, like, and then the spear through the barricade and you're like, wait a minute. Like, wait a minute. What's going on here? Do we certainly have this right? But yeah, it was great. It was a great little spring. After it, I was like, they just went right from the start. Go, go, go. And they never let up. And it's just, 4.5 minutes of trading bombs. It worked real well. It was surprisingly good. I did not expect it to be anything whatsoever. And after it, I was like, I'm glad I watched that, I was like, that was fun.
Yeah, the whole little feud, like, if you condense it, it's been a fun little feud, It didn't take up too much of anybody's time. Had some 3 good moments, the Survivor Series moment, the Royal Rumble moment, and now WrestleMania. And those guys came in, they did what the fuck they were supposed to do and got the crowd. Like, as far as like match, the crowd caring about which match, if the Undertaker wasn't retiring, this match should have definitely went on last because it's the one the crowd gave a fuck the most about. Hardy's excluded.
Right.
Which, you can't really.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Yeah. So, yes. Now, I want to talk about the 2 women's matches. I don't really care about the Raws, but, I feel, just to be fair, we can talk about that, but I just wanted to. I was a crying baby, and I didn't expect myself to be crying. And, when I woke up, I already found out the results before I saw the show.
Mm-hmm.
Results of the match I didn't see, so I knew Naomi won. And, I'm watching the other women make their entrances, and then Naomi comes out, And like for some reason, emotion just hit me so hard, and like I'm full on crying by the time she slides down the ramp. I am full on crying. I am crying the entire time she's out there. Like it's just knowing that I have like little girls and they're black, and Naomi's like Sasha Banks is black, but like I don't know how to explain this to non-black people.
She's darker skinned.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm literally thinking that. I was gonna bring that up. Yeah.
And so, like, especially with somebody like me who is darker skinned, you hardly ever see dark skinned women put in a position of prominence any fucking where. Not in wrestling, anywhere. So, like, the fact that it's Naomi, who I've been rooting for since forever, and this is WrestleMania in her hometown, and like, this was the perfect time to put the fucking belt on Carmella. The perfect fucking time to put the belt, or to just keep it on Alexa, because she's the type, she's the prototype of what everybody thinks they want from the women, right? Mm-hmm. She's not that good in the ring, but she can talk, and she's like fantastic to look at. She is. She really is. She's God. But like, I feel that way about Naomi too. Like, I think Naomi's fantastic to look at, but it's a different standards of beauty when you get to women of color, and the fact that like she's being accepted, and this is a gimmick that she had to fight for like over 3 years, and it's just a culmination of everything. I was just a blubbering mess. So yeah, I loved it. Like, I know they got the death slide, but not really, because the crowd cared, because Naomi won.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, like, crowd was into it. Crowd was hot, and was kind of pretty hot for it, all things considered.
Yeah, they were there for Naomi winning, and I was happy about that. Like, I don't know how she got over so fucking fast, but God, let it continue.
Boy, and I tell you, like, boy, we've talked a lot about Becky Lynch, but man, Naomi got over in a month and a half, way more than Becky ever did on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Like, so I don't know. That says something, folks.
Well, some people will say, well, to be fair, Naomi in this little run has been booked strong. Like, even before then, she had already went over Alexa when they weren't really paying that much attention to her last year. So
true.
But
no mercy.
I think that's kind of like a cop out a little bit.
Yeah.
Becky had more. I think she had a leg up on Naomi because Becky saved the women, like the Divas Revolution. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And people already had this much level of investment in her. Like, she just, like, the last good, like, really standout thing that I liked from Becky was like the La Luchadora stuff.
Yeah.
Or in the, right before the tables match when she had the interview and she, like, everybody was shocked. She called
Alexa a bitch, yeah.
But that was months and months ago.
Yeah, that was December. It is April. Yeah.
Right. So
that was early December too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that match was great. I cried too because Alexa lost, but I did not cry. No, that was great. I enjoyed it. I was like the only person in the world who, like, on Twitter, I was like, man, this match is great. People are just like responding to me like ... and I'm like, am I the only one who was into this? I was super into it. I don't know. It was because it was just like a sprint. I mean, it was like 6 minutes, but it was like go, go, go. Like, shit was happening, And like usually in like 5-way or 6-way matches, they'll be like dumping people outside the ring. They'll just be like blah, blah, blah. But this just felt like chaos constantly, It felt like what would actually happen if 6 people were fighting,
Yes.
And like it was just like shit was all over the place. I was like, yeah, this feels kind of real. So like, it wasn't choreographed great. I was just like, it was what? I don't know. That was a weird.
No, I feel like you're right. If you have more than 3 people in the ring,
there should be like
a certain layer of chaos over it.
Yeah.
So I agree with you on that because, like, I agree. I didn't mind it. I mean, it served its purpose. It's WrestleMania, and it's not for the work rate. It's
Right, exactly. Yeah. We got a WrestleMania moment out of it, you know?
They actually booked the WrestleMania like for fucking stories, and people are complaining that there wasn't any 5-star matches.
Five-star matches, yeah. Go watch your New Japan bullshit.
I was just gonna say that it's not New Japan. The name of the show is not Wrestle Kingdom. It's WrestleMania. Okay? Two completely different shows. And by the way, I had New Japan. I watched Wrestle Kingdom. It's fucking shitty except for 2 goddamn matches. 2 shit show. Like, I was like, what the fuck is no. Okay. Let's move to the triple it should have been a triple threat. The fatal 4-way elimination where they made Nia Jax look really, really strong. That was annoying. Like, I feel like the match would have been much better if they did not have if they did not have to carry her through her elimination. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. She's knocking all 3 of them over. All 3 of them had to team together and pin her. And I know, like, people are like Nia Jax fans, but you should really want her to improve if you want her to be a champion first. Because that's what I wanted from Roman. Before they put anything on him, I wanted him to improve where he could be able to carry that belt and perform what's needed of him. And I don't think Nia Jax has it. Now, I will say this. I like her taunts. But, like, that's like they're not that good. And that's like the best thing about watching Nia Jax is her taunts.
Yeah.
Her offense is still, like, I think she's scared to lay into people.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what it is. And she's gonna have to get over that, or as soon as WWE finds a woman her size that performs for her size, like, they're gonna be like, and Triple H runs talent, so he don't give a fuck about you being a Rock's cousin.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Seriously.
He really doesn't. So I'm just saying I don't see Nia Jax being in many more WrestleManias if this doesn't improve.
Mm-hmm.
But like, other than that, like, the story didn't match up. The story of the match didn't match the story that they have been telling whatsoever. Did we ever really get like Sasha Bailey? I think I know why they're saving that, but I still think they could have teased them being the final 2 and have like a 5-minute little something or another and still have Bailey go over, and that would give a better catalyst.
Yeah, if they turn
her.
If they turn Sasha tonight, I literally have already started like writing part of the review, and I will eviscerate the turn. No matter how it happens, I'll like comment on how it happens and like what they did and be like, okay, blah blah blah. But like the story has just been is stupid. It's so dumb. And they've just had Charlotte and Steph a little bit tell us, this is what Sasha is doing. Nothing on screen reflects what they have said. Literally nothing. There's not been a single moment where it's like, you know what? I think Sasha might be up to something here. It's like, they're just like friends. There's nothing there. There's nothing in the direction that is getting Sasha Banks across as having some like mastermind plan to get the title back, from Bayley because she thinks Bayley's a bigger mark. Like, it's not come across at all. And so if they do turn her, it's gonna be funny because people are gonna be like, oh, Sasha's a heel, and I'm gonna be like, fuck this shit. Me of all people is gonna be like upset about it. It's gonna be quite entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I don't know. It just the way they got her out of the match, the crowd deflated instantly. You could feel it. Crowd was just like,
when Sasha was gone, they were like, oh fuck.
They were like, God damn it.
They thought Charlotte was gonna win.
Yeah, right? Like even still, they wanted a Bayley Sasha, they wanted something. Like, even if it was like face. They wanted something. Like that's Orlando's two NXT girls, you know? Like
right.
They wanted that and they didn't get it at all. So then like the elimination was dumb. Like there's no story beat that they like derived from Sasha's elimination. It was just like, oh, she just hit an exposed turnbuckle. There wasn't like, oh, it was like an accident with Bayley, you know, and like then they can bring that up or whatever, you know, something like that, or you know, or it was just lazy. The whole thing was lazy, and the whole match was paced. The rhythm was weird. Like the time, like half of the match was like getting Nia out, and then like the last half of the match was getting Sasha and Charlotte out, and it just I don't know. It didn't work. It didn't connect for me like at all, like whatsoever at any point really. Like I like the tandem moves on Nia were cool. It's like, oh yeah, this is cool stuff, but like just that, you know, it would have made more sense if Charlotte and Sasha would have come down during the no DQ match on Raw like 2 weeks ago or whatever and tried to stop Nia from getting in the ring, because then they knew.
That's so funny to me,
right?
Because I'm sitting here and they're all like working together, and I was like, well, what the fuck was this mentality when she was trying to qualify in a no disqualification?
You could have both come down with fucking chairs and wailed on her for 10 minutes.
Right. This would have been so unnecessary had you paid the fucking attention.
So like that disconnect is so frustrating, and Raw does that so much. It really does. SmackDown does it too, but Raw does it a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, this match annoyed me.
Yeah.
God, how did I give this show an A-? I'm a monster, huh?
Yeah, some people. You had complaints, so you couldn't possibly give it. Like,
yeah.
I guess when you review a show, you're not supposed to be a fan. You're supposed to be an expert and do everything according to a graph and charts. And it's fucking entertainment. Those grades don't mean shit.
Right? They literally mean nothing.
Right, God. Like, seriously, somebody on my Raw review, like, I gave the Go Home show a 7.5. I didn't think that was good. And some dude just kept obsessing. Like, he thought it was too high. This is shit. How could you do a 7.5? You must have never watched wrestling a day in your life. And I'm like, suck my dick. Seriously. Come on. Go write your own review. Why the fuck are you that bothered by my positive opinion? Jesus Christ. Like, we're gonna have to start doing better, fans. Like, if you literally cannot find enjoyment in WrestleMania and it's the one of the worst ever, please do the rest of us fans a favor and stop showing up, stop coming, stop watching. Like, fuck it. Like, I'm trying to actively go out and get WWE fans, so we don't need you.
Yeah.
We'll make it shit. Fuck that shit. But yeah. I love the show. I wouldn't give it a grade. I don't know like what to grade it. I was entertained.
Yeah.
And I liked it, and then to like see like one of my favorite wrestlers get to end and retire on his terms. Like, I know when I would have preferred this to happen a lot sooner, actually. But like, he went out on his own terms. He was able to walk out. He was fine. He said goodbye to his fans. Like, all that, toppled with the Hardys and all that stuff. It was great. It was good job, Vince.
Yeah.
Now let's build on this, please.
Yeah, let's build on this starting tonight. Like,
yes,
let's put on a good show and
tell
some good stories, and don't turn Sasha.
And the one thing I want to say is, like, seriously, I'm all for Roman turning heel. Please do not turn him heel tonight for no fucking reason. Like, people want stories, but all of a sudden we would just want Roman Reigns to just turn to an evil person just because, for no reason. This should be a precipitating thing. Like, because he did some good fucking character work in that match.
Yeah.
And like, if they do not capitalize on that, like, I'm just gonna be like, that's so typical. Like, they never capitalize on the character work that he tries to put forth. They never do. They always throw it away. And like, if they fucking do that this time, I'm just gonna be like, I'm going to give up. He's never going to be heel. Like, if they don't give him some kind of spice, it's never going to fucking happen. You got any final thoughts? Because Raw is going to be on.
Raw's about to start, yeah. I don't know. It felt like a WrestleMania. It felt like what I wanted out of a WrestleMania. You know, that's basically, if I had one sentence for the review, that would have been it. It felt like a WrestleMania.
Yes, you're right. It actually felt like WrestleMania, and there were no part-timers showing up, and I think that was so. Yeah, like the Hardys, that was special, but they're coming back to work full time. They're champions now. It wasn't like a one-off just to pop the crowd. And
Right.
I think Vince didn't do any of that. He didn't call for any of that because he wanted to give all the attention to Undertaker. So too bad Undertaker can't retire every year. We're definitely going to get some Stone Cold, Steve Austin, or The Rock next year. Unless we can find somebody else to retire, goddammit. And nobody's meant as much to that company as Undertaker. Very few people have. Like, you could probably count on one hand the people who have meant as much to the brand overall as the Undertaker. I thought, yeah, it felt like a WrestleMania. Like, it was like when I used to watch WrestleMania as a kid. I had similar feelings. So, yeah, really good show. Because if it was a shitty show, we wouldn't be sitting here talking about it.
Nope.
So, we're gonna thank you guys for listening. We're still gonna do our regular shoots, people. We got it's like it was a 15-hour show, and we just talked about 3 hours of it today. So
Yeah.
Please follow me at Militia Malice Joe. Oh, Andrew at andrewmswift on Twitter. Yeah, we could you can go on and take us out, Andrew.
Yeah. And especially give yourself a special Smarkmania hug for yourself.
Bye.